Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our YouTube video on the most dangerous jobs in the world. Are you ready to be taken on a heart-pounding journey through the perilous careers of some of the bravest and most fearless individuals on the planet? From death-defying feats to high-risk operations, we've compiled a list of 15 jobs that require nerves of steel and a willingness to put life on the line. Each day, these brave workers face the very real possibility of injury, maiming, or death, all in the name of earning a living. So buckle up, hold on tight, and get ready for a thrill ride like no other. Don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date on all our latest videos. Let's go! Lumberjacks. Taking down a tall, heavy tree can be a frightening task, but operating heavy machinery while suspended in the air to do so is even more daunting. In 2016, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS, logging workers had the most hazardous occupation with an average of 135.9 fatalities per 100,000 workers. There were 91 reported workplace fatalities that year, with most resulting from falling trees or equipment malfunctions. Trash and recycling collectors. Waste workers, commonly known as trash and recycling collectors, play a crucial role in keeping our streets clean and sanitary. Their job is not an easy one, as it involves handling stinky refuse and other hazardous materials on a daily basis. Despite the challenging nature of the work, waste workers are compensated with an annual median salary of $40,000, with some earning upwards of $100,000 per year. However, the compensation comes at a steep cost, as trash and recycling collectors have one of the most dangerous jobs in the world. In fact, it is considered the fifth most dangerous job in the United States. The latest data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS, reveals that 31 total deaths were recorded in 2016, with many resulting from workers falling off trucks, getting hit by vehicles while on the job, or accidents with machinery. These statistics underscore the risks that waste workers face every day. Falling off a moving truck, for instance, can result in severe injuries or even death. Similarly, getting hit by a vehicle while on the job is a common occurrence, given the nature of their work. The operation of heavy machinery, such as garbage trucks, which can weigh up to 80,000 pounds, also poses significant hazards. Moreover, waste workers are exposed to a range of health risks, including respiratory problems and infections caused by exposure to hazardous waste materials. They are also at risk of contracting diseases such as hepatitis and tetanus, which can be caused by exposure to sharp objects. Despite the risks associated with their job, waste workers remain an essential part of our communities. They help to maintain cleanliness and orderliness in our streets, and their work contributes to an overall health and well-being of our communities. As such, it is important that we recognize the sacrifices that these workers make and take steps to ensure their safety and well-being while on the job. This can include providing them with proper training, safety equipment, and adequate compensation for the risks that they face. Underwater welders. Electricity and water are two things that usually do not mix, but for underwater welders, it is just another part of the job. These highly skilled professionals are responsible for repairing pipelines, ships, dams, and other underwater structures, and they face a series of dangers on a daily basis. The job of an underwater welder is not for the faint of heart, as it requires a combination of technical skills, physical strength, and mental toughness to handle the unique challenges of this demanding profession. One of the biggest risks faced by underwater welders is the potential for explosions. This is because the welding process involves using a high level of heat and energy, which can create dangerous sparks and fumes. In addition to the risk of explosion, underwater welders are also exposed to a number of other hazards, including differential pressure hazards. These hazards occur when a diver is trapped under the high-pressure flow of water, which can result in drowning if the diver is unable to free themselves in time. Despite the many risks associated with this field, there is no official record of fatalities among underwater welders, as the Bureau of Labor Statistics does not track this data. However, research conducted by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, shows that underwater welders die at a rate that is 40 times higher than America's national average. This is a staggering statistic, and one that highlights the inherent dangers of this profession. It is important to note that the CDC study is more than 20 years old, and studies are not frequently updated due to the small population size in this field. However, the nature of the work has not changed significantly over the years, and the dangers associated with underwater welding remain very real. As such, it is important for those who are considering a career in this field to understand the risks involved and to take appropriate measures to protect themselves from harm. One way to mitigate the risks associated with underwater welding is through proper training and education. Underwater welders must undergo rigorous training and certification in order to ensure that they are properly prepared for the demands of the job. This includes learning the proper techniques for welding underwater, as well as developing a strong understanding of the equipment and safety protocols that are required to work in this field. In addition to training, there are a number of other measures that can be taken to reduce the risk of injury or death while working as an underwater welder. These include wearing proper safety equipment, such as helmets, gloves, and protective clothing, as well as working in teams to ensure that no one is working alone. It is also important to have a thorough understanding of the environment in which you will be working, including the water temperature, currents, and potential hazards. Despite the many risks associated with underwater welding, there are a number of benefits to pursuing a career in this field. For one, it is a highly specialized profession that requires a unique set of skills and expertise. This can make it a very rewarding career path for those who are passionate about welding and enjoy working in challenging environments. In addition, the demand for underwater welders is on the rise, particularly as more and more underwater structures are being built and repaired around the world. This means that there are a growing number of opportunities for skilled underwater welders, both in the private sector and in government agencies. Underwater welding is a highly specialized and demanding profession that requires a combination of technical skills, physical strength, and mental toughness to handle the unique challenges of this field. While there are many risks associated with this work, there are also a number of benefits to pursuing a career in this field, including the opportunity to work in a challenging and rewarding environment and the potential for high-paying jobs with good benefits. Oilfield workers. Oilfield workers are known to have one of the most perilous jobs in the world, which is largely due to the dangerous environment in which they work. Whether they are offshore or onshore, the risks associated with this profession are plentiful and often life-threatening. While there are several hazardous elements of the job, such as heights, heavy equipment, and dangerous materials, the most surprising cause of death for oil and extraction laborers is vehicle crashes. One of the most infamous incidents in the history of oilfield accidents is the Deepwater Horizon explosion and oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico in 2010. The tragedy resulted in the loss of 11 lives and reminded the world of the high stakes involved in oil rig work. The oil and gas industry is known for its volatile nature, and the risks are amplified by the harsh and unforgiving working conditions. Oilfield workers are often required to work at great heights, operate heavy machinery, and work with hazardous materials. The equipment used in oil and gas extraction is often large and complicated, and even the slightest mistake can result in catastrophic consequences. These workers are also exposed to a range of hazardous chemicals and fumes that can cause long-term health problems. Despite these risks, the most common cause of death for oil and extraction laborers is surprisingly vehicle crashes. Long hours and extended periods of time spent on the road can lead to fatigue and exhaustion, which can impair a driver's ability to operate a vehicle safely. Furthermore, their journeys to and from the rigs can often be dangerous, with workers frequently required to navigate challenging terrain and adverse weather conditions. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, fatigue is a significant contributor to the high number of vehicle crashes in the oil and gas industry. Oilfield workers are known to work long hours, sometimes for weeks at a time, and are often required to work night shifts. Roofers. We all know roofers as the men and women who walk around on our rooftops and offices, inspecting for leaks and helping to make sure that our homes and possessions stay safe and dry. With all that walking around, suspended many feet in the air, it seems reasonable to expect that being a roofer is one of the 4 deadliest jobs in the United States, according to a recent article from the BLS. At least 100 roofers are known to have lost their lives in 2016 alone, with nearly all of these deaths being the result of the roofer falling off of a roof. This risk is nothing new, and roofers acknowledge these risks when they sign up for the job. Between 1992 and 2009, it's been reported that 1/3 of all fall-related deaths happened while walking on a roof. Vets. Veterinarians can be harmed by animal bites, infections, and sicknesses, but in Australia, the problem facing those employed in this field is mental health. These employees have a 4 times greater risk of dying by suicide than the rest of Australia's populace. According to the Australian Veterinary Association, studies have not identified a single cause for the high suicide rate, but typical challenges for these workers include high levels of stress, emotional hardships related to euthanasia, and financial strain. Deep-sea fishermen. The popularity of Deadliest Catch is for a good cause, because there is a very high chance that someone will pass away while working. Worried TV viewers are naturally interested. The second most hazardous occupation in the United States, based on the most recent statistics available from the BLS, is fishing and related work. Fishermen take a risk with their lives on open waters, far from any medical assistance, in the hopes of landing a sizable haul and making a good profit. As you undoubtedly already guessed, drowning is the leading cause of death in this industry. Structural iron and steel workers. This job is extremely dangerous because of factors like heights, steel beams, collapsing walls, electrical lines, and swinging items, to name just a few. According to the BLS, structural iron and steel workers have the 6th most dangerous employment in the country, with 25.1 fatalities per 100,000 workers. The majority of fatalities in this industry are caused by falls, while cuts, muscle strains, fractured bones, and burns are the most frequent injuries suffered by iron and steel workers. Aircraft pilots and flight engineers. Despite recent improvements in commercial flight safety, the BLS reports that 75 aircraft navigators from smaller aircraft, such as air taxis and rural pilots, passed away in 2016. Along with mechanical failure and turbulence, human error is a major factor in the workplace fatalities of aircraft pilots and flight engineers. Bull riders. In America and Australia, bull riding is a well-liked and steadily expanding activity, with the top professional bull riders earning millions over the years. One of the riskiest professions, it also has the highest incidence of human injuries in rodeo. According to a 6-year Australian research, injuries sustained while riding a bull are on the rise, with the chest, brain, and limbs suffering the most damage. Farmers. Not just milking cows or planting vegetables is involved in this work. Farmers, ranchers, and other agricultural workers are at a high risk from heavy equipment, as well as from the sun, animals, and chemical hazards. It ranks among the 10 riskiest occupations in Australia, as well as many other nations, including the United States. Transport mishaps accounted for the majority of fatalities in this sector. Miners. The potential earnings for workers in this industry around the globe undoubtedly outweigh the risks, but the risks are numerous. Some of the risks miners encounter on the job include cave-ins, explosions, chemical leaks, exhaustion, falls, electrocution, toxic fumes, and heavy loads. The largest and deadliest mining sector in the globe is found in China. According to a study, the nation is responsible for 80% of all annual coal extraction fatalities worldwide, the majority of which are caused by explosions. Police officers. According to television and film, police officers have one of the deadliest jobs in the world, but in reality, they don't even make the list of the 10 most dangerous professions in the nation. In contrast to most other professions, police officers confront one significant difference and a frequent risk while on the job: murder. While homicide is rarely the cause of death in other professions, it does account for a percentage of police officer deaths each year. Police officers incurred 51 homicides in 2016, up 50% from 34 fatalities in 2015, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Truck and sales drivers. With a death rate of 24.7 per 100,000 workers, truck drivers had the greatest number of workplace fatalities in the United States in 2016. Some drivers travel long distances with hazardous cargo and will occasionally drive while fatigued, increasing the likelihood of a fatal collision. The report also discovered that transportation-related accidents continued to be the leading source of fatal work-related injuries across all industries. Stuntmen and stuntwomen. The main focus of this job is risk. Stuntmen are basically hired to pull off insane stunts that would be too dangerous for actors to pull off, or to thrill a live audience. The job involves risky moves that can result in injuries or even death, such as leaping from great heights, crashing into other vehicles, or using actual weapons in combat. Although there are no formal statistics, Screen Rant provided a list of 15 incidents in which stunt actors were hurt or killed. Which of these jobs surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more great videos. We'll catch you guys with the next one.